It's now been 8 weeks since that first imaging was done that revealed tumors on Shirley's liver. And shortly thereafter, the CT scan that showed how progressed the nature of this pancreatic cancer is. And it's been 2 weeks since I did the last video update. Today, how's Shirley doing? I know a lot of people wonder. And let me be quite frank. Shirley is physically and emotionally exhausted. In this stage, the pancreatic cancer is devastating. Compound that suffering with the effects of the chemo 2 weeks ago. Shirley is now sleeping about 20 hours a day. And that, with the help of the anti-nausea medicine and the narcotics that deal with her pain level. 20 hours. That's a lot. How am I doing? I'm doing the best I can. Even with faith, this is the most difficult thing that I've ever done. This watching Shirley suffer and wither away. And that's what she's doing. Yet, even in the midst of what's happening here, I know that these days, these weeks, are the most important and meaningful days and weeks in our journey on earth together as Shirley and David. What does the immediate future of our shrinking world look like? Well, let me paint you a little picture. Monday, Shirley is scheduled for her second chemo treatment in Mobile. Whether or not they give the infusion will depend upon what her blood work looks like that they will do before they give the infusion. Shirley's sister is driving down again from Long Island and is due to arrive here in our neighborhood on Monday evening, and she'll be here for a couple of days. And on Thursday, there's another appointment in Mobile. Mitchell has set up for us an appointment with a surgeon who they may feel necessary to call in the event they need him to stent a bile duct that one of the tumors is encroaching against, closing it off. So that's what we have to look forward to on Thursday. I need to give everybody a little heads up. The first is that when you call or text, realize that our phones stay on mute the better part of the day. And the reason for that is so that dings and bells and rings and those sort of things don't happen and disturb Shirley's ability to sleep. Right now, sleep and rest are very important. And the other part of that heads up is this. Due to Shirley being physically and emotionally exhausted, coupled with the effects of the chemotherapy on her immune system, something that is compromising. Pardon me while I turn the page. I made a bunch of notes here that I wanted to stick close to so I wouldn't ramble. But due to Shirley's physical and emotional exhaustion, and the fact that the chemotherapy has compromised her immune system, it's essential that we greatly restrict visits from outside. Shirley's too vulnerable. Plus, during these small windows of opportunity that Shirley and I have in the course of the day, there are things that we have to do, things that we need to do in the life maintenance department. And we greatly appreciate everyone's desire to come see Shirley. But at this point, we are having to greatly restrict outside visits. And we ask you to please respect our needs at this time. I'll continue to make these video updates as time and circumstances allow. We want you to know that your prayers and your kindnesses are greatly appreciated, and we desperately need your prayers as we walk through this difficult time in our journey together as Shirley and David. This is tough, folks. There's no skirting that part of this issue. As I mentioned, this is the hardest thing that I've ever had to do in my life. It's the most difficult thing. And, keep your cards coming. Shirley loves to read your notes. But know that we have only so much time to respond to things. And there's something I want to wrap up this little update with. It's something that I think about a lot these days during these trials and tribulations that we are going through. And it's a verse that continuously comes to my mind. The 11th chapter of Hebrews is a beautifully written chapter. But the first verse of Hebrews chapter 11 says that faith is the assurance of things, faith is the assurance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. One of the things that I've learned in my life about faith is that faith does not necessarily remove the obstacles, the trials, the tribulations, the suffering in our lives. But what faith does, faith gives us what we need in order to walk through, to face, encounter, and walk through those obstacles, trials, tribulations, and suffering. And I don't know how anybody can go through something like this without faith in God, a relationship with Jesus. because without that, this would be meaningless, totally meaningless. I was driving home from town the other day, driving past some peanut fields. The peanuts are up about that high. And thinking about things, praying. And I felt a still small voice inside my heart of hearts that said to me, David, there are graces that can never be experienced except in the throes of suffering. I agree, because through this all, Shirley and I both have that peace that passes all understanding. It doesn't make it easy. It doesn't remove the pain. It doesn't remove either the physical or the emotional pain. And yes, I'm going through a lot of emotional pain. Shirley's going through emotional pain as well as physical suffering. So be encouraged, folks, and know that we appreciate your prayers, we appreciate your kindnesses, and we'll keep you informed as best we can on the progress of things. I know many of you who are watching this have a deep love for Shirley and for me, and we truly appreciate that. So I'm going to close this little video and say God bless you. God help us all in our need.